a little update in the community tab on this channel for y'all. Time zone changes. I'm getting used to it. I gotta get used to it, and so we're working on it. So we're a little bit late Eastern time, getting started today. But we always say around 2:30 and stuff. So yes, the True Seeker podcast right here on CHA's YouTube channel around 2:30 p.m. Eastern time, God willing. And so my apologies, we're a little bit late today, but nonetheless, we're here because I want to talk about how narcissism causes the inconsistencies that we begin to notice. Yeah, it's very true. It's so crazy making, and I want to see. Yeah, I need to check while those notifications are going out. And with the sun being out bright, and I have the screen protector on here, I don't know exactly how the background looks yet. So we're gonna let that stuff go out. And I see that y'all have caught the latest postings on TikTok. Yay! Okay, and I got more of that stuff coming to y'all as always. Okay, so I just wanted to see what. Okay, latest posting. Yay! Okay, and I got more of that stuff coming. All right, there we go. There we go. I can see what y'all see in the background. Okay, well, don't mind that green grocery shopping bag. It is what it is. So, anyhow, I've got the chat here for y'all, additional insight, questions, and what have you. Okay, as we continue to seek truths, we are seeking God's truths and God's reality in the spiritual awakening. And when we start to notice these inconsistencies, and then we learn about how the game of narcissism is being played on this world stage, and we understand, okay, radio frequency manipulation, and then the devil's distractions, and all of that. And so narcissism causes inconsistencies because it's a mindset that comes up with that type of stuff. And you have to remember that those inconsistencies are for inducing confusion. And God is not the author of confusion. You have to remember that. And so when we notice the inconsistencies even more and more and more, for example, since I've been on business trips the last couple of months, and we're still in business trip season, and as I continue on going to the different hotels, and now we are no longer in Florida, and so as I'm traveling through the different states, the weather pattern pretty much is about the only thing that does remain a little bit consistent as far as the engineering of certain times of the day, so that people continue to get overexposed to radio frequencies and excess salts, yeah, during certain meal times. So yeah, I've noticed that. So when the charcoal cloud come rolling in, or the perm cloud, and then the heavy metal clouds, especially during a thunderstorm. So we keep an eye on all that. That pattern is just a repeating pattern. So it switches up from time to time, just slightly though. Okay, and the other things I've noticed inconsistency wise is, well, the height. We talked about this previously when I was first discovering the inconsistencies, and the height of the toilets versus the counters, the bathroom counters, and then also the number of mirrors that may be in a room. Yeah. There was one that was a hotel case study that I did not get. I mean, I do when you think about the spiritual wickedness in high places that we are battling against, okay? I get why there would be one wall that was nothing but a mirror, but I also felt the radio frequency static off of that mirror. So I know what was up there. Yours truly, yes, we covered it up. We're not stupid. So chosen ones, when we learn these things, we don't ignore them even going forward. This is why I teach often that no matter what it is that you are experiencing now, you have to take with you the things that you've learned, the lessons that you've learned. They have to go with you. That's one thing that God revealed to me going forward, is that I must, okay, keep remembering what we've learned going forward. From each room to room to room, there's this assessment that I must do for each room to ensure that we are getting adequate oxygen, and that, yes, we are protecting our privacy the best that we can. Because we do know that the matrix is rigged with that narcissism causing these inconsistencies. And it's not just to induce that confusion. Okay, remember, the devil loves confusion. And so we don't let it confuse us when we see these things. The inconsistencies are there also to try and catch people off guard. Think about it for a moment. Because this happened in the previous hotel that I was in another state. I noticed that when I told the cleaning people I didn't need anything, we were good. I mean, I had only been there one night. I didn't need anything yet. And I typically don't, because I have my own thing. Okay, when I'm on business trip, I have my own toiletries, I have my own towels. Okay, so if they don't provide, then I've got my own soaps. I've got my own stuff. So I make it easy on them. Okay, they don't have to work as hard with me. I'm easy. Okay, chosen one, we keep it simple. Okay, we keep it simple, because God is a simple God. And so as I've noticed these inconsistencies even more, and I realize that when you get used to a certain height of something, see, that's the thing about human nature. This is why God tells us it, and I'm going to paraphrase here, but this is why we learn that our flesh is weak. Because if we don't stay vigilant and aware at all times, remember, right, 1 Peter 5 verse 8, because if we don't do that, this is how these inconsistencies, the devil's shenanigan, can catch you off guard. Like a chair that had the adjustment of going up and down, right, it had the hydraulics. Well, in the previous room, that's what happened with the somebody, okay, when they went in there to, because I had adjusted, right, I adjusted the chair to my liking, meaning up, because yours truly is 5'8", okay, I'm rounding it off. I mean, when you say 5'7 3/4, but I put a pair of shoes on, okay, I'm 5'8". Anyway, okay, so in other words, I'm tall, so the chair needs to go up, okay, for my liking. Now, so I knew that. So I left that day because I went to go explore beaches in the area where I was. And even though I told the crew I didn't need anything, as usual, right, the devil hears you, but he ain't listening. And I was like, okay. And so the first thing I noticed when I returned to the room to go sit down in the chair was it was lower again. I noticed it lickety split. See, that's what I'm saying. Y'all gotta pay attention to stuff. Little shenanigans they try to play. So yeah, that was their assignment. Whatever it was, their assignment was to go in there and lower the chair back down if it was up. Because if I hadn't have been paying attention, and if my ANS was numbed, then yeah, I would have one of two things. Because the chair had wheels. Think about that. So it's down lower than it was when I left. But in my mind, because we, right, our flesh like comfort, right? It's like a comfort zone of sorts for the ANS. Once it's like, okay, I know where it's at, boom, all right, sit down. Okay, well, I'm glad I'm paying attention because they sure did. They lowered the chair back down and I called it. And I went, okay. And it's stuff like that, okay, that we notice a lot quicker because it's for injuries. The Matrix likes its game of narcissism to cause these inconsistencies to try and cause injuries. Because the truth is, if your autonomic nervous system is numb and you don't know that, and radio frequency in excess now, mind you, your body will adapt. We're talking about amounts of radio frequencies where your body is unable to adapt. And see, you won't even know that it's not being able to adapt if you have a numbed autonomic nervous system, the ANS. If it's numb, you won't even be able to tell when your circulation is being interrupted. You won't be able to tell. I can tell. Oh yeah, I went to Walmart earlier to pick up a few things, and it's cold inside, very cold. Okay then, so as soon as I walk outside, within about 5 minutes, I feel circulation returning. I can feel it. That's the kind of stuff we learn to pay attention to. And so I said, okay. And yeah, we ain't letting the devil steal that from us ever again, because we're aware now of it all. And we continue to get more aware of these things. And the inconsistencies like that, like where they put toilet paper holder in the bathroom with the toilet, I want y'all to start paying attention to this stuff when you go out and about, even at restaurants and stores, whatever. I want you to pay attention to the different location for the toilet paper holder. Pay attention to how close in proximity is it to the elbow hitting the top of the toilet. Then in the showers, you know, they have the handicap bar. I want you to pay attention to how close that is to when you washing your face, right? You turn around and there's the water and you washing your face. Bam. Okay? The inconsistencies are there for you to, well, self-sabotage, right? When you pay attention to that stuff. Well, so where the toilet paper holder, and that's one of the first things I notice when I sit down to use the restroom in a new hotel room and I see where the toilet paper holder is located. And if I notice that it is, right, if it is an imminent threat to my elbows, I'm going to take that roll of toilet paper off of that and I'm going to put it on the back of the toilet, because I know if I do that, I can reach back there and grab it. Right? So I take, that's how you get around it. There's a tip for somebody right there. Okay? So that you don't whack your elbow on the top of the toilet when you go to get some toilet paper off the roll. Take it off the roll and just sit it on the back of the toilet. There you go. All right? There you go. And you bypass the possibility of whacking your elbow. Problem solved. Okay? And then also I've noticed where some of these rooms are like moisture. Let's just say suction cups. There you go. They are suction cups for moisture, to hold in as much cold and moisture as possible, because the excess moisture being held in certain things will deplete the oxygen levels in the environment. Yes, you heard me correctly. So what's the tip that I have for you all? Is to get out and get as much fresh air as you can, or open the door for a while. You're allowed to do that. Open the door and get some fresh air. It's that simple. Okay? So yes, hello. All right. You do that, Cindy. All right. Listening while you do your nails. Awesome. Okay. And I am just going to continue to expose these inconsistencies caused by narcissism. Because every time I go to a new room, a new hotel, I pay attention to this stuff, where things are located, because I am aware of the inconsistencies that are put in place to try and cause an accident or injury. Remember, y'all, same pattern when it comes to the game of narcissism on the societal level. Remember, at the individual level, if the devil can't get to you, he's going to send a narcissist, right? That's what he does. All right, if the narcissist, if that don't work, right? The narcissist can't do what the devil wants them to do to you, and that don't work, then he wants you to self-sabotage. He wants you to do it to yourself. That's really ultimately what the devil wants. He wants us to do it to ourselves. He wants us to self-sabotage. Okay, because he yeah, he wants to continue thinking he's being craftier, trying to be sneaky. But see, we're catching this stuff left and right, all the inconsistencies out here. This is another reason why we understand better when God tells us that through tribulation worketh patience, because you're going to have some extreme patience. I mean, I don't care how good we're feeling, how much better we're feeling as we detox and stuff like that. We still got to take it slow and easy because of the inconsistencies. Okay, narcissism causes these inconsistencies, and so this is for somebody. And it doesn't even have, I mean, y'all, this applies to anywhere you go. You go out to dinner, okay, at a restaurant. Pay attention to where the location of things are, okay, so you don't whack your elbows, okay, or, well, yeah, or anything, especially your elbows. My goodness, that's a joint. We know that the devil targets our health, and joint health is one of the biggest things, because, well, Colossians 2 verse 19, okay, so don't forget about that. And the devil targets our health in so many ways, and that's a big way right there, because over time, if you keep whacking that thing, right, yeah, you get bruises, and bruises do what? Hold salt, and then salt water, and then what does radio frequency do? Yes, and it prolongs the injury, and the devil hopes that over time you don't know it there, and that over time it will cook the muscle, cause stiffness, make you think that you need these pills or that ointment or that, when all you need is to sweat. Get out there, walk it out, sweat it out. That's all you need. Because over time, as you're able to sweat it out, which is what the devil don't want you to do, because that's part of detoxing. If you don't sweat it out, your body hangs on to it longer. And that prolongs, yeah. But if your autonomic nervous system is numb, you won't even know any of that. You won't even know that you whacked your elbow. Again, how many times, listen, because I know before we became aware of this, how many times did you get a little bit of like a paper cut and you didn't even feel it? That's not normal. Okay? That's not normal. You should be able to feel it. But see, all those inconsistencies are caused to get you to not be able to feel those things. Because over time, places of injury or past injury can become pockets for air pockets and salt water. If you lose the muscle mass in that area, it's very important to understand that that is a large part, like we talked about before, that causes that water retention. It's the loss of muscle mass. And that includes your facial muscles, your scalp muscles. Think about your entire body is made up of all kinds of muscle and tissues. And so it's supposed to take a long time for that to slowly deteriorate, and hopefully you be unaware of it happening. But see, now we're becoming aware of all of that, and the inconsistencies out here are deliberate, because you have to think about, okay, so somebody had to design that blueprint. Okay, well then, was it somebody that had the spiritual wickedness in high places? Not all places, but yeah, the ones where I can spot, oh, okay. And as I was alluding to with the things that trap in moisture, right? It causes the floor to become what? Ding, 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 a little bit, right, a little bit risky for slipping and falling. So you have to be aware of these things. So what do? Well, if you got a towel, you wipe it up with a paper towel. Simple as that. Just make sure you wipe up that puddle of water or whatever. When you know and you see. And this is another reason why you can't be running on your adrenaline. Because if you're running on adrenaline with a numbed ANS, oh yeah. Oh, the endless thing that could send you to the big H, which is what the devil wants. You have to remember this. That's, part of the spiritual battle for the mind, and then also telling yourself some things. I'm going to share with y'all here in just a moment something from my late grandpa's book that I was reading, and I have to tell you, it's spot on with what we teach in this ministry. It's spot on. Yes. Okay. My late grandpa Orr published this. Okay. As far as I know, it was 1954, somewhere there, and so I'm trying to find what tissues and cells of your wondrous body. Okay. Trying to remember. I read a little bit. And, well, he talks about how your mind, okay, how your mind, your thought govern the majority of our lives, right? And so the positive thinking that he talks about. And I'm like, okay, this is not a book on disease. I know that, Grandpa. Okay. Well, I'm trying to find it. Hold on a second, y'all. Oh, here we go. Okay, it's in chapter 5. All right, there. I'm gonna find it because it goes right in line. It aligns with what we're talking about, as far as purging the subconscious mind. So we're gonna get to that here in a moment. I see y'all comment. Thank you for your patience. For those of you who tune in and you don't have patience, then this ministry is not for you, because we got to have patience. And so that's the other thing, when we start to notice these inconsistencies out here, and then we realize, because I was like, why? I was like, what for? And then I learned, okay, yeah, because we know that the devil wants people to be more accident prone with the numbed ANS. Okay, we got that. Oh yeah. And so then you're running on your adrenaline, you're not really paying attention. So you turn around a little bit too fast and bam. How many times did we do that? Okay. So that's what we learned. Not because not because of aging or anything like that, but just awareness. And the fact that we realize we don't have to move that fast. But do stretch, y'all. Please, please, please remember the importance of stretching, especially the upper body. Okay? And so, okay. Okay, so yeah, Cindy says, I've landed somewhere. She's going to take a guess, but she won't say anything publicly. Okay. That's fine. You can send me a direct message on TikTok and I can confirm or yeah. Okay. But we're still, we're not quite there yet. Okay. But you said you have an idea of where I've landed. Okay. All right. And say, yes, Chris, hello. Do I remove my, no. The car magnets stay on. Okay. Yeah, the car magnets stay on. That thing's going to advertise for me while I sleep. Okay. Okay. Yes, want to see the car magnet. Okay, Cindy, if you go to the community tab right here on the YouTube channel, and I don't remember exactly the day, but if you scroll a little bit, you'll see it. because I took a picture of it on my door and I put it up in the community tab right here on this YouTube channel. So it's up there. Yeah, like the day after I got them and put them on. Yeah, they're there. And so, okay, so Chris is playing second fiddle today. Do I get a lot of attention? Okay, well, I will tell you, known as the CHA lady, okay? But I will tell you that our movement, y'all, okay, combating radio frequencies for healthier living. Okay, well, it's, if you go in, I want y'all to do me a favor. If you go into the search bar on any browser, I want you to act like you are searching for additional information about RF radio frequency, and I want you to tell me if any of our videos pop up. Okay, so let me know if any of our videos pop up. It does on TikTok. We got a fellow warrior who did that, and he confirmed in the comments on one of the videos where I was talking about how RF is used for mind control. Okay, speaking of the big H, have you never noticed that all over the American hospitals is the Surgeon General? I've heard you are entering a military installation. Okay. Oh, me entering a military not to my knowledge. Yes. Okay, so y'all talking about what I was giving y'all the tip about the inconsistency with the where the toilet paper is versus the right. Watch the elbow. Okay, so it sounds like you don't want it out there publicly, so I won't say it. Okay, I had lost a fiber. Okay. Okay, cool bean. Okay, y'all talking about y'all. No, we are not. It's not Mississippi. Okay, so you're talking. Okay, not. Nope. 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 Nope, it's not Mississippi. It's not Georgia. Chris is actually right. Good old Louisiana. There you go. But not for long. This is, we're not here. No, we're just here for a very, very, very short time. Okay, very short time. Yes, okay. Okay, Chris won. All right then. I didn't know y'all were playing the game, but yeah. Okay, if you want search, okay, search what? Okay, if you go into a search bar, because I want y'all to let me know, because it works on TikTok, but I want in the general query of things, because we have a lot of content, especially the RF coaching course now at CHA Academy. So I want you to search, I want you just to act like you are, put in something like radio frequency sickness. Put something in there, or RF information or something. Act like you're looking for more information about RF, radio frequency. And I would like to know for you all, like what pops up. Because if I do it from my IP address, well, Lord knows everything I do on it is probably going to pop up on my end. So it's better to have others do it and let me know if we're starting to pop up. Because this movement it's big, y'all. Because I'm not the only one that knows about these things. I'm not the only one that knows about the environment being polluted with EMF, that electromagnetic fields, caused by the sine waves from all the radio frequencies around us. Yeah. Okay, you reclaim your fiber. Okay, got it. But yeah, y'all got to understand that, excuse me, yours surely needs to stretch. And so don't mind me. All right, I'm going to stretch every once in a while because we need to. And also, it's very important to understand that. And then also what you think about yourself. Okay, so now I'm going to share with you all some readings from my late grandpa's book. Okay, because it goes right in line with all of this and how I teach the importance of what you tell yourself. Remember, God said that the power of life and death is in the tongue. So you must speak life over yourself. And then what you think. But see, when you speak, that comes after what you think. The devil knows this. So we got to learn to be more mindful of what we think of ourselves. So we're experiencing a discomfort. Okay, well, the majority of things out here that we experience discomfort-wise with our biological body is caused by excessive salt that was magnetizing radio frequencies, thereby causing radio frequency poisoning. And it's a symptom. It's a radio. Your body is trying to overcome it. It's detoxing naturally, and it's going to be uncomfortable for a moment. But see, if you don't know about that, then you're going to run to the store and you're going to start taking all these other things to mask the effect and also to slow down the detox and basically prevent the detox. We learned this. And so we have to be mindful of that, because our subconscious mind, as we're purging it, we are reprogramming it to think positive about things. For example, when I left to go to the store this morning, I had no idea what traffic was going to do. I didn't have to go that far, just on the highway, one exit up, go pick up a few things, and then come on right back. Well, traffic was backed up. I don't know what it was. I have no clue. I know that the Matrix causes a lot of that kind of stuff to keep people sitting in their cars longer than necessary to slow down circulation. I know about that. And so I was like, okay, but aside from that, I don't know. And it don't matter. I said, you know what? This is all right. I said, I get to experience. That's my thinking. I said, I get to experience this in this place that I just got here the day before yesterday. I arrived. I've been through it. When I was a truck driver, y'all got to remember something. I drove these highways and byways and stuff all over the United States. But I didn't get a chance to actually stop and experience anything. So now we are redeeming the time, because the days are evil. The Lord said we are redeeming that heart's desire I had when I was a trucker, to be able to stop off and experience some of these places I've never been before. So I said, oh, I'm embracing the experience. That's positive thinking. That's for somebody right there. When you're going through, it's like, okay. Because I was like, I'm not in any hurry. So I was like, all right, so traffic is backed up. No big deal. I don't have that far to go. I said, but at least I get to experience. See, as I was on my way here, though, I was paying attention to the GPS. I saw some other signs and things like that, highways and things. But this time I'm like, okay, so we're sitting in traffic. Like, what am I looking at that I didn't get a good look at yesterday on the way in? What's my experience? I get to experience the new sights now and become familiar with the new area a little bit. And that's that positive thinking. So before I read to you this, let me get caught up with y'all in the chat here. Okay. And so did I ever drive? Yes, Cindy, I did. When we drove truck, I sure did. Oh, let me tell you. And yeah, over the mountain. And then, I think it's, the word love is in it. It's in Colorado. One of the highest. Oh my gosh. Whew. Trying to go chugga-lugga-lugga-lugga leveling path. That's it. Trying to get up that. Oh man. Whoo. That was something else right there. Yeah, yours truly. Oh my gosh. Sometimes if we were close to, see, the cutoff weight is 40,000 pounds in that trailer. So if we were carrying like 35,000 pounds on up leveling pass, I was like, yeah, that was a challenge, let me tell you. But we made it. And then going down. Oh, North Dakota, South Dakota, whoo! like a roller coaster ride. Montana, wow. Yeah. So, okay. Anywho, thank you for helping me remember all of that. But yes, okay. Okay. Yes. Leveling path, 11,000 feet up. You got it, Chris. You get another fiver. Okay. But yes, so basically we have to pay attention to things around us and change that thinking. What are we experiencing, right? Okay, so it's like my late grandpa said, and this is in chapter 5. The title of it is, well, it's Subconscious Mind Continued. Okay, and so I'm going to read to you. Okay, it says, once you understand that life is intelligent and powerful, only then you realize how you have restricted your life to a narrow channel, the well-known rut. Health and success, like freedom, are with you as long as you exert yourself to maintain them. That is why you should seek knowledge regarding proper thinking, rest, nutrition, and fresh air. All right, y'all. You see, yours truly listen, my late grandpa was talking a lot of the same things we are, but I want you to understand something. I don't know if he read the Bible or not. I don't know, but I can tell you this: we know God tells us to seek understanding, seek that wisdom, seek that understanding. Grandpa said, "You must seek first understanding, then all things you desire will be accessible to you. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all shall be added unto you." That's my grandpa Orth wrote that. He said, yes, seek first. You must seek first understanding, then all things you desire will be accessible to you. It is a proven fact that a healthy or sick body is deeply rooted in your thoughts. And upon realization, you who are sick lose your sense of sickness and gain the necessary harmony of body and mind. When the thought pattern changes, then your body reacts towards the healthy side. Sickness, therefore, is foreign to your physical body if your thought pattern is positive. Ding, 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 ding. He hit the nail on the head. 1954. And so this is why God tells us also, what a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. That's why I tell y'all, if you're experiencing a biological discomfort, do not tell yourself you're catching something that don't exist. You are detoxing from radio frequency poisoning is what's really happening. And many of you now know this. Those of you who have been with us for a while, you know what I'm talking about, because I can tell you that each time I experience something through the detox, like peeling back layers, I remind myself, oh, that's that charcoal cloud. I'm breathing in salt. So, of course, it's going to have a little bit of an effect in areas where there's still a little bit of excess salt water hanging out because my muscle mass has yet to be repaired there. So, it's going to take time. And so, if it's heated up, it's going to have a little bit of an effect. I'm aware of it. I don't tell myself anything negative. I go, okay, this too shall pass. Because we know what it is. That's exactly what my grandpa was talking about. When you become aware of it, you don't think negative about it, then your body's going to lean towards the healthy side naturally because you're thinking positively about it. It goes in line with how I've taught y'all. If you're feeling that, don't dwell on it. Acknowledge it. Okay, got a little ping there. That's telling you there's an air pocket there. All right, cool beans. You know where the air pocket is? Slow and easy stretch, right? Stretch. and then cold compresses to break that air pocket loose from whatever it's holding on to. All right, and over time, walk it out. And then over time, that air pocket will release because it has to. And it also stems from what you're thinking. So I wanted to share that with y'all because that is very, very true. And no, it's not Grandpa Dickie. Remember, my biological dad was adopted by his uncle. However, so it was Grandpa Orth. O-R-T-H. Michael Joseph Orth. Okay, Grandpa Orth. And that's the author of that. Okay, he wrote that. And yes, he was a doctor. But he chose the all-natural healing side. And the reason I smile is because, it's got to be, listen, technically he's my uncle, but my great uncle, it doesn't matter, he's my uncle. But he's my grandpa because he adopted my dad, okay? So he's my dad's dad, that we know. And I'm grateful that it's like, I don't know how, but it's like I obviously was destined to carry on some of that legacy because of the simple fact it's so true. And he's right about that. He is so spot on. Yeah. Yeah, crazy. Okay. And then we talk about the truck driving there. Yes, you're welcome for those excerpts from my grandpa's book, and I'm going to be sharing more of them with you all. I still have yet to find out whether or not it's still available. Okay, you are very welcome because it's just that, right. My late Grandpa Orr, and then this ministry. Now I understand why it's like my biological dad sent me the copies of his book because it does align. And that's why I tell y'all that, mindset is everything. It really, truly is. And we know that true freedom is in Christ. And he just said that the freedom and the healthier life and everything is with you as long as you continue to seek the understanding and you get the wisdom. It's like God tells us in the Bible, wisdom and understanding. My gosh, we get the knowledge. That's priceless. You cannot put a price on that. I know we do in books and stuff like that, but I'm just talking about the fact that when you have all of that and you realize that your body will turn to things naturally. It's like I tell y'all, and I'm not the only one that knows this, like if you are consuming cane sugar, all natural sugar versus corn syrup, your body's going to digest that natural sugar first. If your body has enough enzymes at that, after that, then it will try the corn syrup. And usually it doesn't because your body has to reproduce, okay? Those enzymes have to regenerate. And it takes a little time for that to happen. And so when we're eating, see, this is why the matrix and the traumatization and stuff, all of that, the radio frequency manipulation of the autonomic nervous system and everything is trying to trick you into continuously eating when you're not hungry. So you use up all of those digestive enzymes. This is why fasting, chosen one, this is why that's so important as well. Even if it's just intermittent fasting every once in a while, because you got to give your body a rest. And then also little mini superfoods. Those of you on the Patreon channel, you know what I'm talking about, those little mini superfoods every once in a while to just take the burden off of your digestive system. And oh man, it works wonders. It works wonders. Okay, so I wanted to get on here and talk about that because all those inconsistencies that we see caused by narcissism, that system, the narcissistic matrix, it's that control system and all the rules and the policies and things like that it puts in place to try to get you to self-sabotage, to get you to have those injuries where salt water will gravitate because that's what it does. A bruise it's just a big blob of salt sitting there. And so it will attract radio frequency and then cause discomfort in those joints. so that the matrix can sell you a bunch of crap with more chemicals in it. Then you don't need that stuff. You don't need it. Okay, so doing better. There's a lot going on with your okays. All right, Cindy. Everybody, let's make sure that we keep one another in our prayers, okay? Cindy, thank you for sharing that. Prayers, okay, for you and all of your kids, y'all, all of you, seriously, and definitely, we know the Lord is with her, and that this too shall pass. Glory be to God. So we pray for her wellness and release from the hospital to the restoration from the Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. So to know that, okay? Yes. You're welcome. And so that really wraps up today's Truth Seeker message about the inconsistencies. And then I got to share with you all that. And I'm glad I'm going to share more with you. It's just, all of it ties in. But just remember that, okay? If you find yourself trying to think something negative about yourself, you've got to be careful about that. Because then that's what you're going to attract more of. And so I've noticed that, because where I was staying before, the peace and the calm, my mindset, relaxing and positive and everything, and it was very, very, very peaceful over there from day 4 to day 7. The first 3 nights, because whenever a chosen one arrives on the scene, the demons get a little bit agitated. So the first night or 2, they might seem a little out of sorts, especially if the day I arrive happens to be on a zap day. I've learned that about the narcissistic matrix and the demonic realm, that when I am checking into a new place on a zap day, the demons tend to be a little bit more antsy, if you will, and louder. And I'm like, of course. So keep that in mind too, all right? And don't let it get to you. Don't let it get to you. Think positive, stay positive, and calm. Right. At all possible. There you go. That's it right there. Okay, that's it. Thinking positive. Absolutely. What behind? Oh, what? I honestly, I don't know. When I did the test, it seemed like it, but I have learned that I actually like to cover those things up anyway. Because when you are doing bodybuilding or endurance training, as we are, okay, which reminds me, I've got another protein shake I need to make, and as we're doing that, and we are rebuilding, okay, and right, well, see, if I'm looking in the mirror every day, I don't get to see this, okay, I don't get to see that. You can't be looking in the mirror every day and expect to see these results. So I've learned that covering up the mirrors is beneficial, because it keeps me from any potential self-disappointment, because it can affect your mindset. So that's a tip for somebody. If you are, because it's human nature. We've been building, right? We've been building, and we've been pumping the weights and stuff, and it's been a few months, and we're like, okay, we want it, because it takes a little while as you're building the muscle, and you got to let it repair itself, you got to let it rest and all of that. And I've learned that if I'm checking it out like every single day or every few hours in one day, and I'm not seeing something, it can take a toll. It can mess with the sight. And so I'm like, I'm not gonna let it do that. I said this is a blessing in disguise that we figured out how to cover up these mirrors, so that because I don't need them. For me to do this, I have what I need, okay? As far as a handheld mirror and stuff, I'm good. But I don't need to be looking in that mirror at myself all the time, okay? If I want to see results. So there you go. Thank you, Hello, Miss Muscles. Well, see what we're working on, and so thank you. That's what I'm talking about. Is that before I started learning about that, but then before I started covering up the mirrors, I was doing that. I was going to the mirror like every few hours, and I was like, what we got? Okay, nothing yet there. Okay, hold on a minute. And so, right, because it's lean, right? And when I do this, you don't really see it. Not until I do this. Then okay, now we can see. And I noticed it while I was going, while live streaming just a couple weeks ago. I said, oh, there's some results. Okay. And that's it. And then I forget about it. And I just keep on keeping on. So that's for somebody right there. If you because it's human nature. Remember, y'all, our flesh is weak. Okay, I'm keeping it real with y'all. Our flesh is weak. Yes, I was doing that because I'm like sitting here going, all right, man, yeah, we toning and training. All right, where's them results, right? And we know it ain't going to happen overnight, but still, because there was that mirror there. Yeah. So we stopped doing that. So if I see, right, that's why I was like, there's another one over here too. And I was like, I don't need to do that because then I'm looking at myself all day long. Not all day long, but y'all get what I'm talking about. Okay? Human nature. Because we know we doing, so it is what it is. We're trying to flex and we aren't seeing no results. And so we're like, man, and then that can also trick us into overdoing. I want y'all to understand the importance of that. Because if we're not seeing results, we go, okay, maybe I need to up the ante a little. When no, you really don't. Because you don't want to burn the muscle that you're trying to build. Right? Okay. So that's another reason why. Because it did trick me a couple of times when I was doing speed walking. And then there was that time where I thought I had to walk twice a day. And I remember when the Lord spoke up, he said, stop. He said, you ain't got to do that no more. Once a day. If you're going to get a speed walking once a day, he said, you don't have to do twice a day anymore. I did to get some things going in the beginning, but I got so used to that. I was like, I will get out and walk morning and afternoon. And I remember when God said, stop. You don't want to overdo because you don't want to burn the muscle you're trying to repair and rebuild. So, okay, you're a little bit in that regard, checking your muscles. Okay, you need to cover up your mirror. Cover up that mirror. And I'm going to tell you, do it. Cover up your mirror. Here's your challenge right here. All right, here's the coach in me coming out. For those of you who are on the endurance training and strength training and muscle building journey with us, all right, here's your challenge. If you're doing that, you're checking yourself. Okay, cover up that mirror for 1 month. Cover up that mirror for 1 month. Seriously. You know what you look like. So cover up that mirror. Don't be any mirror you got in your house. Cover them up for 1 month. Keep doing your training. Keep getting that protein and the creatine. If you're doing the creatine, not everybody needs it. Okay? But you're doing that. Cover up that mirror. Trash bags, a sheet, pillowcases, whatever, and some tape. Cover it up for 1 month. That's your challenge. This is CHA's Endurance Training Challenge. For those of you who are like me, want to check for them results every day. For 1 month. Mark it on your calendar for 1 month, because I'm going to tell you, if you are doing what you're supposed to be doing and you are staying with it, with the endurance training, even if it's just a few moves every day, a little goes a long way, I'm telling you. Okay? And then you're eating right, you are getting the protein you need. Don't forget about the animal fat, okay? Not just for cognitive function, but also lubrication for your joints. All right? Don't forget about that. And so, yes, and it's important. And doing your stretching, and then also giving your muscles some breathing room, like you take a day off here and there. I know there's a lot of people when they first get started, 1 day on, 1 day off, and that's fine. And then they go 2 days, 1 day, 3 days, 1 day. I mean, it just depends until you build up, okay, enough to where you can do a little bit every day and then take just like one day. Yours truly, I could take a couple of days off a week now. Okay? And yeah, right, and we're good. Give the muscles time to rest and relax, okay, and repair. So yeah, cover up the mirror. Well, it really isn't that long ago. I'm already here. Well, because you got to remember, it may seem like a lot of miles to you, and I understand why. But when I was a trucker, it's nothing. I was like, oh, what? Drive 3-4 hours? Oh, shoot! I was like, that's nothing. That's nothing. Because I mean, because on average, I used to drive 700 miles in a shift. One shift. When I took over driving, I would drive up to about 700 miles, easy. And that's with stopping to pee and fuel and all that. Because I would drive, and of course I had to have some downtime. That's when because I had to, in my logbook, I had to show rest. And so I get out, I do my walk around the truck. So there you go. And that's why it's like 700 miles in one day. I don't have to do that now, no. But the first day, the first day I did like 330 something, just because I wanted to get out of Florida the first day. So I do that. I mean, where I'm headed, I could have already been there. Oh yeah, I could have already been there in like 2 days. But God says I ain't got to do it like that. I'll stop off and experience. Okay, stop off and experience some new places we've never been. I'm just passing through, y'all. I'm just passing through. So that's why, like I said, in the spiritual, when I got here the first night, I was going to be a little bit rambunctious, but it was a zap day. And I was like, listen. I was like, Heavenly Father, I said, let them know I'm just passing through. I said, we ain't moving here. I'm just passing through. I'm just experiencing this state and this, I don't know if it's city, if you will. Okay, just this area. I said, I'm getting an experience. That's all. That's all. And a couple nights rest. And then we're moving on. We'll keep it moving. So, yeah. But for right now, eating up the miles, okay. Cindy, change that thinking. Yo. Time for me to step in. Change that thinking. You said you're saying you can't paint your nails. No. You got to take that can't and turn it into a can-do attitude. It's all about mindset. If your nail did not come out the way, you got some nail polish remover, right? Okay, take all that off and try again. But change that thinking. That's your homework, Cindy, right there. Don't be telling yourself, I can't paint. No, yes, you can. Yeah, you can. Maybe not while listening to the podcast. No, I'm kidding. But yes, you can. Practice. Okay, practice. If you got some nail polish remover, take all that off and try again. Do it again. Redo. I hear the Lord say, redo. Speak life over yourself. And so, okay, you already have 3 times. Okay, well, let me tell you, what does God tell you? What did we find out early on when I kept asking God how long something gonna take? Think back. I asked God how long something was gonna take, and He did not answer me for like a whole week. And I was like, okay, that's not like you, Heavenly Father. Well, I don't have an answer yet. And so I had to realize, okay, then it's gonna take however long it takes. He said, there you go. So you sitting there saying you painted your nails 3 times already. Okay, well, however many times it's going to take, right? There you go. Change that mindset. However many times it's going to take, you'll get it. When I started cutting my own hair, y'all don't think I got it right the first time? No. It was a little crooked. It was a little crooked. But over time, practicing it, practice, right? As I kept pulling my hair up on the top. That's what I do. I just pull my hair when it's time to trim it. I take all my hair and I pull it to the top of my head, as much to the top of my head, and I put a ponytail, and then I cut straight across. That's how I have layers. Okay, and I cut straight across. But when I first started doing it, it wasn't so straight across. Okay, it takes a while, and so now I've been doing it for several years, and it's like nothing now. So however many times it's going to take, see, take that concept. When God said it's going to take however long it's going to take for this to heal, or that to get done, or that to, however long it takes, that's what God needs us to understand. However long it takes. So same concept applies here to the mindset. All right, however many times it's going to take till you get it to your liking. It ain't going to be perfect. We ain't seeking perfection here. That's a sign of narcissism. So however many times it takes for you to get those nails the way you like them. I mean, I know that nail polish remover these days is like a dime a dozen. Right? And a little goes a long way with nail polish, I can tell you that. There's your tip right there. A little goes a long way with the nail polish. There you go. So that's to help y'all out there. Change that mindset. So yeah. Just stick them on. Easy. The false nail. Very funny. Y'all, Chris sitting there trying to promote the easy way out. No. No, we're seeking wisdom and understanding, and God didn't say it was supposed to. It's not. No, God might be a simple God, but she's trying to hone her craft. We got to encourage her to hone that craft, because it's on her heart desire to get them nails the way she likes them, to paint those nails. Do you know why? That goes in line with her purpose, or she wouldn't be trying to do it. So we need to encourage. That's the thing, y'all. Chosen ones, is what we need to come together to do. Is we need to be coming together and encouraging one another. So Cindy wants to get those nails satisfactory, right? Because there's something about that goes in line with the purpose. In other words, you might be painting other people's nails. Bear that fruit. But you got to practice on your own nails first. All right, there you go. So, okay, so there you go. If the polish, okay, now the polish might be just shake it up real good, and if it's already going thick and goopy, then that could be part of it. That's a big part of the issue right there. Yeah, that much I know. The quality of material, practical where there's an easier way. Okay, now we get around that resistance. Yeah, okay. But yeah, you definitely want to make sure you get the better quality polish. You want it to be fresh. So, yeah, okay. Okay, yep. Okay, to thin it out a little bit. Okay. All right. In it, okay. All right. Looks like you will figure this out. Remember, there's a way around the resistance. Okay, whatever it might be. Because that's what happened. And see, the devil is trying to trick you into thinking that you can't. When, yes, you can. There might be something else going on there. So, there you go. All right, everybody. So, remember that. When you catch this on the replay, you're going to learn about how narcissism causes the inconsistencies that we're starting to notice out here in the matrix, and then how we start, and then the coach in me comes on out with the and more part, okay, as I'm reading the mindset here, and I get y'all back on track. It's all about mindset. You got to change that thinking. You got to be positive. You can't be negative. You can't be telling yourself can't, because when you do that, What a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. I just read a little bit ago that excerpt from my grandpa's book, my late grandpa's book, and he's talking about that. You got to change that thinking to positive thinking. So when you do that, your body's going to go naturally in the same way. So there you go. So okay, okay nail. All right, there you go. Okay, all right. Thank you for sharing all of that, you all. Okay, and love painted toenails, Chris. All right, y'all. Y'all having a little too much fun in that chat. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up, y'all. And we're gonna continue on. And yours truly, I'm gonna coach you changing that thinking into more positive thinking, and you will see more positive outcomes. Okay, remember that. All right. Keep it moving. Keep that thought process positive. My grandpa or book backs that up. All right, y'all. Sending love and light to all fellow warriors. Thank you for watching, listening, and for your continued support. Till next time, we'll show some gratitude to the Heavenly Father, and you keep being you. In Jesus' name, amen.